What's going on, guys, girls? Rob here with you this evening, actually this afternoon, and we're going to show off the game Slam Wars. I've got actually two of the boxes. This one's empty because I've got all the cards spread out right here. But I've got two decks of them. I actually made a purchase of one a couple of years ago, and somebody sent me one. Somebody was very, very nice enough to send me one. Definitely not on here to try to get people to send me stuff, but it was very, very nice of them. Let me show you what we have going on here. The one we've got here is Wrestling Legends of the Superstation Slam Wars. And I've got the wrestling cards here. It's got Ronnie Garvin here. We got tag teams here. And I've got stipulations of matches right there. Okay. The other Slam Wars I have is Wrestling Legends of the Mid Atlantic. And this is a bit older. This is ones that was from like late 70s, early 80s. So it may be some wrestlers you wouldn't know about, or as well as you would this other set. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do a 2 or 3 pay-per-views, okay? And the pay-per-view matches, they're going to be very, very easy. They're going to go by really, really fast. And we'll use all these we'll just use 7 each side. So we're going to have the clean, then we're going to have the heel and the face, okay, side. Then we're going to have 3 tag team matches, okay? So we're going to go all the way up here. Let's see if I can boot this thing up a little higher here. Yeah. Let's do it like that. I like it a little better. Plus, I can maybe move this back just a bit. All right. So we're going to start here, and we're going to just work our way down. And I'm going to let you guys decide who our champion should be, okay? Who should our champion be, our singles champion? I mean, from back in the day, we had we had Ronnie Garvin, we had Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Magnum TA, Lex Luger. They're all the gold wrestlers, okay? But we had others, Scott Steiner, Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he's stunning Steve Austin there with hair. He had hair. Warlord, Jimmy Valiant, and George South, Dustin Rhodes, Shaska Watley. He had his head shaved by Jimmy Valiant. The Patriot, Sting, T.J. Khan, Barbarian, Mark Callis. He's otherwise known as The Undertaker. Ivan Koloff, the Great Muta, Kevin Sullivan, Denny Brown, Rick Rude, Nikita Koloff, Dusty Rhodes, Crusher Khrushchev. All right. Roger Ward, what's going on? Bunkhouse Buck, Norman the Lunatic. We got Mighty Wilbur. We got Danny Spivey. We got Mr. Hughes. We got Johnny B. Bad. We got Manny Fernandez. Big Van Vader, Arn Anderson, P.N. News, Tully Blanchard, Sid Vicious, Ricky Morton, Steve Regal, Lord Steven Regal. Everything's going pretty well. Brian Pillman, he left us too early. Sam Houston, Lasertron. Otherwise, that'll be the question of the day. Who was Lasertron? Who was Lasertron in real life? And Too Cold Scorpio. All right, so I'll let you guys decide who you want the champion, our world champion in Superstation to be. Great. I have 9 of these sets. Oh, wow. I just have 2 sets. I've got this one and the Mid-Atlantic set. I got the Mid-Atlantic set as well. But we're going to play this one, and we're not going to match them up. We're just going to lay them out, and we're going to flip them. We're going to see who would be our champions or who our winners would be. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So let's see, who do we want to have as our champion? And we can have different champions if we want to. Okay. All right. World Heavyweight Champion here. Superstation set. I'll put World Champion. Should it be Ric Flair? Ric Flair's going to be tough. He'd be really tough. And then we'll have U.S. Champion. And then and U.S. Tag Champions. All right, let's do that. We'll just have 4 champions. All right. So while you guys are thinking about who our champions will be, okay, I'm going to mix them up. Let me show you our tag teams are Dynamic Dudes, Hollywood Blondes, Colossal Kongs, Midnight Express, Harlem Heat, Rock and Roll Express, they're a gold team, Kansas Jayhawks, Steiner Brothers, Doom, Powers of Pain, Rick Rude, Manny Fernandez, Sting and Lex Luger, Samoan SWAT Team, Road Warriors, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, and the Russians. Okay, and it's just a set of 2 of those, so it doesn't matter who they are. All right, so we're going to come up with who our single champion, single U.S. champion, tag world tag and tag champion. I'm not going to have anything to say about that. We're gonna do world champion. You want it to be Slick Ric Flair. All right, Ric Flair. All right, we'll make it Ric Flair. All right, let's do that. And we'll put Dusty Rhodes as our U.S. champion. That's cool. All right. Now, who's going to be our World Tag Team Champions? If you're out there, let me know who you are, okay? Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Johnny. He knows where I am. Johnny, if you're out there on your channel, and today I was going to get something going on. So we're going to make a Road Warriors World Tag Champs, okay? Road Warriors and our U.S. champions are going to be Rock and Roll Express. Okay. Rock and Roll Express. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to have 8 matches. We're going to have 8 matches, well, not 10, but 8. 2 tag matches, 6 singles matches. Okay. All right. So let's mix these all up really, really good. All right. All right. All right. So the world, we'll do this. Mix them up about 3 more times. So I want them mixed up real well. All right. So matches 3 and 6 will be our tag matches. Okay. All right. So our singles match is going to feature this one and this one. This one. Yeah, let's just do 5. Let's just do 6 matches. We'll do 6 matches. 1, 2, 3 will be a tag team. 4, 5, 6 will be a tag team. All right, let's mix these up a little bit more. All right, versus this one, versus this one, versus this one, and versus this one. All right, our singles matches are set. We got the title here in case somebody loses, okay? Now let's set our tag teams up. All right, we're going to mix these all up. We want these bad boys all mixed up. We want them all the way mixed up. We don't want them just mixed a little. We want them mixed a lot. I think we got like 16 tag teams. So, who knows? Let's put that one here. And let's put this one here. And let's put this one here. And let's put this one here. All right. Okay, guys. Stipulations of the matches, okay? We got all sorts of stuff. Blood, a heart. Some of them have mixes of stuff, okay? So, this first one will be trophy. That's a trophy there. I don't know if you can see that one. I don't think you can. Let's move it up a little bit. There you go. And I'm going to try to move them up tight as I can so you can see all of them, okay? This is the bottom ones. So I'll have to move this up just a notch. All right. All right. Okay, so you can't see the last tag team match, but it doesn't matter yet anyway. All right, second match is going to have blood and heart. Okay, all right, that's a grudge match. That's what they call that one. All right, we're going to do the third one. It's going to be a tag team match. Grudge match is going to be with the cup and with strength. All right, let's do this one. Simple strength on this one. And let's see. Let's do this one. Cup with this one. And this one down here. Strength again, okay? All right. So now we know who our champions are, okay? Now, the heels might need some help, or so what we're going to do, we're going to pick a booster for one of the tag team matches on this side. So we'll put a booster over here for that tag team. We're going to put a booster here for this tag team. So I got it way over here at the bottom. Okay. Now, a singles match, we'll put a singles match booster there and a singles match booster there. Okay. Now let's see who our opening match, and sometimes our opening match might be the best match of the night. All right, it's going to feature Bunkhouse Buck against Brian Pillman. Brian Pillman against Bunkhouse Buck. Brian Pillman's an 85. Bunkhouse Buck has an 82. Pillman pins Bunkhouse Buck. Ding, 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 and he wins that match. Okay. All right. This one's heart and blood, so you got to go by both. If it's a mix, that's Crusher Khrushchev versus against Ivan Koloff. They have turned on each other. The blood is 81. Let's see, blood. Okay, I'm close for you so you guys can see them. All right, blood for Crusher is 81. And blood for Ivan Koloff is 83. So Ivan wins that one by 2 points. He can't lose the heart by more than 2 points. Heart, 85 for Crusher, 82 for Ivan Koloff. Crusher Khrushchev pins Ivan Koloff. How about that? All right. Now we got a booster for this tag team match, okay? All right. Let me go get my glasses on because I'm reading stuff that's a little too small for me to read right here. But I can do that. Let me get my glasses. If you're watching my channel for the first time ever, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Like and subscribe. We're playing Slam Wars Wrestling. If you want to know how to get it, Google it, actually. In fact, I think these packs are about $20, $25 each. Roger can tell you exactly how much they are. He's got 9 of these packs. Now, he's got 9 of these. But a pack is about $20. I think about $20. I bought one. Like I say, somebody sent me one. So, all right. Let's see what this tag team ends up getting the advantage with. Okay. Crushing moves. You may play this card with any wrestler or tag team who has a finisher with the same color background as this towel. So it's this. If your opponent also plays a finisher, they will cancel each other out. The matchup will be decided by the ratings. All right, so let's see if this tag team. No. Steiner Brothers so they won't get any help by this. But the Steiner Brothers, can they beat the Road Warriors? Or, nope, they're going to fight the Samoan SWAT team. Samoan SWAT team. And with a grudge match, it's strength and also the cup. Strength, 88-94. Steiner Brothers wins that by 6 points. The cup, 85-91. Steiner Brothers are our winners here. Steiner Brothers pinned the Samoan SWAT team. They didn't need any help. All right, the booster goes to this side right here. Okay, Paul Jones is going to be a helper by any means necessary. Play this manager with a wrestler or tag team to increase all stats by 5. Wow. So Paul Jones is going to help this wrestler. He's helping Dan Spivey. Dangerous Dan Spivey. Could he be wrestling Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes? If he can be the next champion. We got to go by by strength. And strength right here is Powerbomb. Now strength goes from 89 to 94 for Dan Spivey. He takes on Ricky Steamboat, and Ricky Steamboat has a strength of 90. Dan Spivey beats Ricky Steamboat by pinfall. You can't get them from the creator anymore. Okay. He went out of business about 2 years ago. Okay. All right. I'm gonna probably have to have a giveaway here before long then, and maybe try to let somebody get one of these. All right, booster for this side. Baby Doll. There's Baby Doll. By any means necessary, play this manager card with a tag team or to increase all stats. A wrestler or tag team. This is a wrestler. Who is she helping out? She's helping Ric Flair out. How about that? She's helping the champ. Wow, Ric Flair. And with the cup, he goes all the way from 97 to 102. Now, he won't take Dusty Rhodes' title, but he will beat Sid Vicious. And he pins Sid Vicious with the help of Baby Doll. Ric Flair pins Sid Vicious. Now, the tag team on this side over here now gets this card. Impact moves. You may play this card with any wrestler or tag team who has the same color background as this. If your opponent also plays a finisher, the matchup will be decided by the ratings. All right. All right, the Road Warriors. They have a Doomsday device of green, so it's not that color. But they do have 100 on strength. So the Road Warriors, the tag team champions of the world, can they be beaten? Harlem Heat, 92. The Road Warriors beat Harlem Heat today, and that is what happens in this pay-per-view event right here, okay? All righty. Now, we'll go back to the ones we just had. All right. We'll put these wrestlers back in there, but they could be picked again, okay? They can be selected again. Let's get all the wrestlers again. We'll have one more pay-per-view. Let's do one more. It's not hard at all. We'll put these away. All right. So the wrestlers here, we'll go right here with our wrestlers again. We'll mix those up. So our champion stays the champion. Our stipulation matches go right back there. And we'll do that. All righty. And our boosters. We'll put all the boosters with Baby Doll and Paul Jones away. We'll do those one more time. All right. Let's see. We'll have them wrestling in the Omni in Atlanta tonight, okay? Or I'll tell you what, better yet, how about the studios down in Atlanta? TBS Studios, Superstation Studios, okay? This is in honor of Ted Turner passing. Ted Turner passed last week, so we'll do that. All right. Okay. All right. Matches 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and we'll even add a 7th match this time. Okay. All right. Let's do that. All right. So we'll put one right here. We'll put one right here. We'll have a tag team match. We'll have a singles match there and there. Let's mix them up a little bit more. Make sure maybe we'll have different wrestlers. Here, 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 and we'll end it with a singles match. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. So let's mix our tag team wrestlers up again. Let's try it once more, okay? All right, let's do here. Let's do, we're going to have different tag teams. That's what I want. Right here. Right here. And right there. Okay. All right. Stipulations of the matches. All right. Mix them all up. These like 20 stipulation matches there. 20 stipulations. So let's go right here. That'll be a stipulation. Grudge match. 4 Iron Man match. Oh, wow. So that's one to start off with. Okay. And that's won by strength. Okay. There's one. Heart for the tag team. That's one grudge match. Heart and blood. That's blood. And the cup. All right. Boosters. All right. We're only going to have one booster on each side this time. We'll do a tag team. Well, we'll do a tag team here, and then one single each. So we'll do there and there. The first one with the Iron Man match, we're not going to do it on the Iron Man match, okay? All right. Our champions are still the champions. Let's see. Nikita Koloff. Nikita Koloff against Brian Pillman again. Brian Pillman had a chance to wrestle here. All right. Let's get the Iron Man match. Let's see who wins this. Okay. All right. First, it's the cup, 93 to 85. Nikita wins that by 8. Okay. Hart, 86 to 92. Brian Pillman wins that by 4. Now let's see. 86, 92. That's by 6. The 85. It is 86. So the first one's 93 to 85. That's by 8. This one's by 6. So Nikita is still winning by 2 points right now. Strength, 94 to 84. He's up by 12, Nikita is. And then blood, 85 to 76. 9 more. He wins by 21 points. Nikita demolishes Brian Pillman in about 2.5 minutes. That's a demolishing. All right. You get a booster for this next one, okay? The wrestler on this side, striking moves. You may play this card with any wrestler or tag team who has a finisher with the same black background. Let's see if he has the same background. And no, it's Dusty Rhodes, though. Dusty Rhodes. Striking move will not help him here. He's got a blue sleeper right there, okay? So it won't help him. But will Dusty Rhodes hold on to the U.S. title? Strength against Mean Mark Callis. And look, Mean Mark Callis has 88. He has 88. And Dusty Rhodes has 82. Mean Mark Callis is our new U.S. champion, folks. Mean Mark Callis. New U.S. champion. How about that one? U.S. champion, Mark Callis. All right. Let's go to the tag team over here. Impact Moves, if he had the same background. Let's see if he does. Let's see if he does. Dynamic Dudes. You got the red. I don't know if it's the same color. But it's Hart. So Hart for the Dynamic Dudes is 90. It's 90 for the Dynamic Dudes. Midnight Express is 93. And the Midnight Express will beat the Dynamic Dudes 93 to 90. All right. Grudge match with Heart and Blood here. Okay. Heart and Blood on this one. All right. I'm putting these stipulations up here because we don't need those now. All right. That's Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan with Heart and Blood against Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes. All right, Hart, 84, 83. That's over Kevin Sullivan. So Mr. Hughes right there would win the Hart. The Blood, 83, 90. Kevin Sullivan wins that one by 7. Kevin Sullivan beats Mr. Hughes. All right, we got another booster right here. Tony Schiavone and David Crockett. My goodness, look at him. Play these announcers with a wrestler. Increase all stats by 3. All right. Let's see. We got Denny Brown here. Denny Brown. Been a world junior heavyweight champion a lot of times. Is he going to go after Ric Flair, though? Let's see. No, but he's going after Rick Rude. He's going after Rick Rude. The Blood for Denny Brown is 43. Blood for Rick Rude, 74. Rick Rude in a smash 58 seconds. 58 seconds. Rick Rude beats Denny Brown. And then finally, our tag team match features Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. And it's going to be the Cup right here. And they're going to wrestle the Steiner brothers. 91 to 94. Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, they are the winners of that match. They are the winners of that match. What's going on, Keith? What's going on, PJ? All right, so that is the end of our wrestling here with Slam Wars. They no longer make this game. How about that? I did not know that. But I do have 2 sets of them. I do have 2 sets. And let's show you what it looks like. Wrestling Legends of the Superstation. Journey back in time. Yeah. You have to go. You have to go back 40 years for this, where you have to go back 45, 50 years for the Mid-Atlantic, because that's just the way it was. That was the wrestling. That's when the wrestling was really, really awesome to watch too. All right, so we have all these wrestlers. A ton of wrestlers here. Let me get over here, get this closer to us so we can see what's going on. Keith White. Let's see here. And if you've noticed anything lately, there's a YouTube golf teams now going to come out with YouTube golf. And I'm like, should we trademark YouTube wrestling, a YouTube racing league? wondering. Put everything back in there just like that, and that goes just like that. Yeah. It was black flagged for illegal use of garbage, illegal use of crap. So me, Mark Callis is our is our U.S. champion now. How about that? That's cool. Next time I play it, we can have him wrestle again too. Um, let's do this. Come around here. We'll take this down. We'll put it up for us. Hadn't really had any updates or reports lately. I haven't really updated anybody on the channel, what we got going on. Really don't know what I got going on right now. Working a few days a week, doing, kind of just staying busy. I'm trying to anyway. Let's see. It was burning something stinky one day. Roger, PJ, welcome. Who all else is here? We got 5 or 6 folks here. Say hi to us. Johnny, I know a friend of mine, Johnny, told me he liked watching the channel once in a while. Johnny, if you're here, pop in here as well. Slam Wars is no longer available. I did not know that. That is Superstation. That's the one we was just playing. And that's Mid-Atlantic wrestlers. That's got Blackjack Mulligan, Ric Flair. It's got some different ones in that one. If you've seen it before, I've shown it off before. Is Government Cheese retired from the Demo Derby circuit? No. Government Cheese is still there. Government gas is the problem. Government gas is too high to run government cheese. Let's see. What's it looking like everywhere? Let's see. Yeah, electric car derby. That's right. Need that. Anybody else is out there, say hi to me. Say hi to me. I appreciate it. Everybody that's out there, I do appreciate your time and the effort now. A broadcast popping up good, that's good. I got a message saying the broadcast is pretty loud and clear. I like that. I want to thank Brian, APBA Brian. He stopped by here. He and his wife did. And we had dinner with them Thursday night. I want to thank them for sliding by for a while, coming to see us. It was very cool. Very, very cool. We recently had the 100-mile yard sale, got rid of a lot of stuff. Looks like you have a blue beard, Rob. Does it look blue? Great. Does it look blue right there? Does that look blue? Or does this look blue? Beard part, I guess he's talking about this. Yeah, that's pretty white. It might just be the way the coloring of the backgrounds and everything looks. I've been asked a few places to play the other wrestling game as well, squared circle wrestling. I have that, and I also have the online wrestling game that I acquired. Oh God, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It's been a while. Probably been 5 years ago, and I've gotten like 2 updates from him since then. But it was right there when AEW was just starting, And that was 2019. So 2020 or 2021, something like that. I ended up getting a wrestling game, which is pretty wild. Did you hear Strat Baseball is now sold in Barnes and Noble? Special edition with smaller box and 25 cards. I had not heard that. Phil Singer wrestling game. I do have that too. I'm trying out the demo of the payoff pitch PC game. I don't have that. I don't have that. Um, does the demo cost anything to play the payoff pitch? I don't know. I have 2 seasons of it. I want to say 19 and 23. Both of them 2020, not 2019. It is free. Okay. I've not tried it though. Um, yeah, the Phil Singer wrestling game is really cool with the cards. Um, pictures are really, really awesome. Dave, he does a great job with that. Uh, Big Ohio State man. And I don't know if he's in Michigan or Ohio, but I know Dave does a heck of a job. And is it Dave? Help me out. Is it Dave? Who has the wrestling show, guys? I think it's Dave. It's David. I don't watch as much YouTube as I used to, and I say it, but I got to get back into it. I got to get back into watching stuff, and but yes, it is excellent game. Um, Phil Singer wrestling. Um, yeah, I haven't like I say I haven't touched that in a while. I've probably got 100, 150 wrestlers on it at least. I got a stack of wrestlers that thick. Dave Little. Dave Little. It has 10 teams and 33 Giants, 48 Indians. Okay. 87 Twins, 24 Dodgers. Doesn't have 27 Yankees, huh? 69 Mets. Solo Promoter is the YouTube channel for Legends of Wrestling by Phil Singer Game. Yeah, Solo Promoter does it. Um, um, Dave does it as well, though. Dave does it. He's got his own. He's got his own promotion too. Dave Little. He does an excellent job. Yes, yes. Dave Little does it. Solo promoter, yeah. Solo promoter likes play wrestling, all the different wrestling channels, different things. Um, I like I say, I get hit with a lot of folks saying, "Hey, Rob, I like your wrestling on your channel," and it surprises me when I get people that approach me in public. Rob, I watch your channel. I'm like, what? You watch my channel? My channel's a little small channel. I watch your channel. I'm like, cool. Uh, I like I like keeping up with people that watch a lot of wrestling as well. Does the demo version of Payoff Pitch and PC expire? You only have a limited time to use it. The way Inside Sports Games does it. No, I don't. That I don't know. Keith might tell you. Um, I get Arnold Hunter. I don't know either. Arnold Hunter contacts me sometimes by text, sometimes by email. Rob, definitely try to do some wrestling. I enjoy it. And Arnold's a good dude. Arnold's a good guy. He's from up in the Northeast. I think he's retired. I'm not sure if he's retired or not. I think he is. And so when he gets a chance, he likes to watch the channel as well. Um, so yeah, different people. Arnold's an awesome guy. Yes, he is. You can download inside the Crease PC game, for example, but you only have 5 days to try it out. Oh, okay. I did not know that either. I don't do a lot of PC games, guys. I don't do a lot of PC games. Um, I have the wrestling one that was a downloaded wrestling game. Does everybody know that one I'm talking about there? I am contemplating starting a YouTube channel. Yes, Roger, definitely do it. If you have time, number one is time. Number one is time. If you're going to do it, spend some time. Try to do one a day. If you go to church on Sunday, do it after church on Sunday. But try to do one a day for like a month. Try it out. Find out what number one thing is find out what you like to do. Okay, find out what you like to do, and then number two, see what your audience likes to watch. And if that coincides, you get gold. You get gold. But even if it's something you like to do, sometimes it's good for your health. I really do think so. It's good for just your balance. A 25-26 shootout already started. The Sharks replay. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Sharks had a good team this year. I don't know. That's something I can't tell you about demos of different games, whether they expire, whether they don't expire. Hey Rob, where did you get the cards? What's up? Thomas Morgan is out in the house too. I got to admit, the majority of them was sent to me. I've got them in there. I've got them in the other room. All I got to do is go get them if you're interested in me showing them. I definitely could. I could show them off. I want to say I even got a few AEW cards. Too bad about your Oilers, Rob. Who do you like for the finals? I like Carolina. I'm not a fool. Carolina's looking sharp. I'll go get them. Yeah. Carolina's looking so damn good. They're 8-0 in the playoffs. Could they be the first team ever to go 16-0? I'm not going to discount it. They're the President Cup champions. They have a great defense, and their offense is not lacking at all. And now that they're either going to play Montreal, or either they're going to play Buffalo. I don't want to play Buffalo. I do not want to play Buffalo either. Buffalo's a tough ass team. Out west, yeah, Vegas is really tough. They're really good too. But boy, the Wild, aren't they playing good? The Wild are playing pretty good. Let's see, who else out west is playing really good? Detroit's out, aren't they? Isn't Detroit out of it? I think so. Vegas, the Wild, who are the other two teams out west? Minnesota's playing pretty good They're playing pretty damn good. Um, Colorado. Oh yeah, Colorado. They probably go. If I was going to guess, I'll say Colorado and Carolina. I can't go against Carolina right now the way they're playing. I almost forgot if most sports even exist. Uh, so let me go. Let me go get those cards. I'll go get those cards and I'll show them off to you guys. I'm going to make a spin around here. I'm not going to go back this way. Let's see. Maybe I can. Nah, I'm going to go the other way. I'll go. I'll come around. Let me go get the cards and I'll bring them in here and show them to you. All right. Must have blanked out for a second. That's not good. All right. Let's see. Let me get close enough here so I can see you guys too. All right. So these are the ones everybody's talking about now. Legends of Wrestling card and dice games. And the size of the dice are about that size. I mean, ultra tiny. Ultra tiny. I will say that much. They are really small dice. So I almost have to go to bigger size dice anytime I do it. But you get them in this kind of card here. They mail it to you. And yeah. And they mail it to you. And you open it up and then it's inside here. So that's how you get it so they won't bend. All right. And then you get some different like order things. Order order these, order these. Kenny Omega, Brian Danielson, Ring of Honor, and this was CZW. They were around. Evolve. This is before the. This was before AEW started. So, it's Phil Singer trying to sell some more games to us, and I guess I already had some of them. And then these are the ones you get out of the ring, death jump, stuff like that. All right. Okay. So let me get all my books together first. Okay. Phil Singer games. Got that one. Phil Singer games. Basic game. So about every time you end up getting a basic game instruction book, it doesn't have, it just tells you how to play the game. How to play the game. So you'll get a bunch of those, but I got some that's got different wrestlers on it and stuff. Okay. So these two, I got two just the same. Two just like the same. Okay. So does anybody else out there put either a thumbs up or say I do or I have it? Play the Phil Singer games, or I like it and enjoy it, whatever. Okay. Feud table, outside interference, out of the ring. It's 6 or 8 of these. So once you have them, you want to put those to the side. Okay. All right. You want to put those to the side. All right. You want to see the wrestlers I have. You've seen enough of them. All right. First off, I got this set. Okay. Barry Windham, Magnum TA, Tully Blanchard, J.J. Dillon, Ivan Koloff. And then there's some other wrestlers inside there. All right. Then I got a tag team set. Rock and Roll Express, Sheep Herders, Fantastics, Midnight Express. That's the one with Dennis and Bobby. I enjoyed the heck out of Phil Singer games. But need more wrestlers. Oh, okay. And then this one right here, I ended up getting, I think it was a starter set right here. Harley Race, Road Warriors. And then I bought Legends 10. Legends 10, I bought that. Yeah, I got that. Lou Thez, the Sheep Herders. I got different ones. Eddie Gilbert, Bill Dundee, Jerry Lynn. All right, let's see who everybody is I've got here. Okay. All right. Okay. I got Sting. And I got the Great Muta. All right. Some of these ones that are Council of War. I don't play or 25th anniversary or Black Death. Where did you get the other quick play? Where did you get the other quick play game? Are you talking about? Hold on. Slam Wars. I actually ordered that about 4 years ago. Let me go pick this up before I forget it. Yeah, stack your questions up. Ask them to me. That way I can answer them. Best way to find out anything is to ask Rob about it. I don't have a problem with that. What happened was somebody was showing it off. Somebody was showing this off on a channel, okay? And they said, Rob, you should get one. So I said, oh, what the hell? I'll order. And I ordered the Mid-Atlantic set. And that's like late 70s wrestlers. I'll show that off in a little bit. You saw this set. Somebody sent me this one. And they were like $20. And it's heavy. And it came in a good sturdy thing when it came. All right. So first off, let's take care of showing off the Phil Singer games wrestlers. Okay. I got a stack of them here. Okay? Pretty good stack. But I've got 2 or 3 of the order blanks. All right. Stick with me, guys. Okay, hang with me, and then I'll definitely show off. Remind me to show off the Slam Wars game Mid-Atlantic next. So I'll have it. Not Superstation, Mid-Atlantic. I'll have it handy. Okay. Matt Stryker, he was in WWE, WWF. PN News, he was in WCW. Harley Race with the old title, Harley Race. Sam Houston. It's a nice picture of Sam. I actually met Sam Houston's sister, God, 30 years ago. Has to be close to 30 years ago now. She was wrestling over at the old Lynchburg Armory. And she didn't know how to get in there. She stopped me and my brothers and my cousin and my friend. Can you guys escort me to the wrestling? So, yeah, we showed. Randy Orton, the Viper. All right. I am not a nugget. Owen Hart. I am not a nugget. You just made the list. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho. Greg Valentine's dad, Johnny Valentine. So he's from the 70s. Look at that. Look at that old U.S. championship belt. That looks like one that they had back in the day. Pretty cool. Johnny Valentine. Dangerous Dan Spivey We just had him wrestling on the Superstation set. Dan Spivey. Kevin Owens. He's coming back in the next couple weeks from neck surgery. Kevin Owens. This one right here, Superstar Billy Graham. This is a photo, I guess they took maybe the early 70s, late 60s, and they went with that. He was the WWF champ at the time. Superstar Billy Graham. Ricky Steamboat. A lot of mine are black and white. And different people sent me some too. I got to give credit, man. Honky Tonk Man. He was an Intercontinental Champion forever and a day. Let's get some more out here. A lot of these are now color. Most of those are black and white. All right. How about Johnny Mantell? He wrestled mostly in WCCW in Texas. Johnny Mantell. He wasn't the best wrestler in the world. Mike Graham. Rest his soul. He committed suicide back in the early 2000s, about 2 decades after his dad did. Eddie Graham. They ran Tampa and Orlando area. Championship wrestling from Florida. They ran it, and it was really fun to watch at the time. Magnum TA. He was national champion, I think, in the Mid-South. I think that might have been the belt that they based that photo on. The Louisville Lip. James Cornette. James E. Cornette. Jim Cornette. And he always carried the tennis racket around with him. Look at this one. This is awesome. On top of the cage. Jimmy Snuka. That's awesome right there. That's a real good picture. Rob Van Dam. All right. How about this one? This guy wrestled in, I want to say he wrestled in WrestleMania. Finn Balor. That's a demon right there. Demon Finn Balor. All right. I got to sneeze, but I hope I can make it past, but I can't. Got to sneeze. Let me sneeze for a second, guys. I'll show you this one, and maybe you can tell me who it is before I tell you guys. All right. Take a sip of stuff. All right. Okay. Thank you. That's Jim Powers. Jim Powers there. Okay. It is. You got it right. Thomas Morgan got it. Think I can stump you? How about this one? I think his brother was more famous than he was, but he wrestled for a while. Anybody know who that is? If he had a championship, I think maybe it's like a Mid-South Tag Team Championship or something like it, Tennessee Championship or something. Was that? Yeah, Doug Gilbert. You got it. Doug Gilbert. You got it. And this is a grappler. Grappler, the spoiler, they all looked a lot alike, and you almost have to have color photo for that. Here's one. Oh. How about that one? He was the AWA champion at one time. I actually met him one time outside of Philly, but he was supposed to wrestle down in North Carolina. He didn't show up. He did not show up because he was a AWA tag team champion too. Yep, Steve Corino, you got it. Old school. Jake the Snake Roberts, we got him. Look at this one. How about this one, guys? I was able to get a hold of this one. I've got a couple of Ric Flair ones, but how about that? Yeah, with the old time belt. How about that, Ric Flair? Do 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 do. You suck. Oh no, yeah. You suck. You suck. Kurt Angle. Yeah. Mr. X. All right. Just got an X on this Mr. X. And we just were talking about having a look here. The other one's so much better than this one, I think. That's Ric Flair. You guys tell me. I mean, wow. Beautiful artistry done in both of them. But I'm sorry. This one takes a cake for me. Which one do you like better? Color or you like a black and white one better? Yeah. I'll put them together. I like the color one better. I gotta get a tissue in a moment. I'll go get that. You will?
Yeah.
Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. He passed away.
Oh,
Yeah, hot stuff Eddie Gilbert.
there you go.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much. Superstar Bill Dundee, the world's tallest midget. Superstar Bill Dundee. 5'4", 5'5" at the most, and he actually was over so huge in Mid South. It was crazy. As D'Lo Brown, D'Lo, some more sideways like that. Watching the old 70s WWF I grew up with and how they used to discuss the matches like they were an actual, yeah. So much better then, wasn't it? The boy from New York City, Jimmy Valiant. He's still living. He lives down in Shawsville, Shawsville, Virginia, outside of Roanoke. On Sunday afternoons, you can actually go by his wrestling camp. There was a guy who was a former Olympic wrestler, and McMahon was saying how that gave him an edge with knowledge of holds. Would that have been the guy that was the weightlifter back in the 80s? Patera, Ken Patera. The Valiant brothers were my favorite interviews with Albano. Well, they were hysterical, yeah. I think it was Ken Patera, maybe. Brad Armstrong, he passed away. He was fun to watch. He was an interesting wrestler. No, it wasn't Patera. I can't recall the guy. It was a few of them, a few different guys that was wrestlers from that came from the ranks. I have every squared circle pro wrestling simulation game set. They have a WWF set that is old school, very cool. Oh, okay. Okay. How about Jim Duggan? Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah. Pretty cool. Hitman Bret Hart. He was never one of my favorites. He was okay. Actually liked his brother Owen better. I liked watching Owen better than I did Bret. Uh-oh. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, he passed on. He was a Rotundo. Wyndham Rotunda, I think was his name. But he passed on. This guy right here is from Washington, D.C., yeah. Batista. Dave Batista. Don't hear much out of him anymore either. He was a yeah. Bray. Yeah. Yeah, he's an actor now. Yeah. Bam Bam Bigelow, tattooed head, Asbury Park, New Jersey. If you smell what the rock is cooking. The Rock. I gotta still say though, of WWE or NWA, I like the NWA better. I like the old NWA so much better. I did. They had this guy. Both of them did. NWA, and then he later on went to WWF. Tony Atlas, Roanoke, Virginia's own. He didn't live far away from here. And he used to wrestle every time he wrestled in Roanoke. He would go up and wrestle. Got a chance to see this guy one time. Andre the Giant. Actually saw him twice wrestle. And Blackjack Mulligan was not that much smaller than he was. Blackjack Mulligan was huge. He was awesome to watch too. I love watching Blackjack Mulligan. Maybe the most famous tag team ever. How about that? And if you put them together, it says Legends of Legends of Wrestling. Look at that. Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors. Yeah, you can do that, or you can do like that, whatever. Check it out. That's awesome. Tony actually drew that card. Oh. Tony Filsinger? Is that his name, Tony Filsinger? Look here. How about Lex Luger? Look at that one. I think it's been probably a U.S. championship. That's not a world title. This guy recently quit, recently retired. Brock Lesnar. How about that? The Beast. Brock Lesnar. Tony Atlas drew his own card. Oh, really? Tony Atlas drew his own card. This is a guy I wish I could have watched wrestle. Everybody has a wish list of somebody they wish they would have got to see wrestle once in their life. Bruiser Brody. I would have loved to have went to Florida and watched him wrestle. I would have loved it. He was an absolute crazy man. But he was a lot of fun to watch. Roman Reigns. Oh, look at there. And Roman Reigns. All right. Yokozuna. Yokozuna. How about that? Dr. Death, Steve Williams. How about that? You need Oklahoma in there somewhere. You need to have an OU right there, like OU right there or something. Needs to have an OU there. He always represented Oklahoma. Number 76, Oklahoma. Undertaker. He just became our U.S. champion on the on the Superstation set. Mean Mark Callis. Yeah. Pretty cool there. That's a lot of people are blaming this person for the downfall of WWE now. Triple H. A lot of people saying he's taking it the wrong turns. I don't know. I don't know who to blame. But somebody's not getting everything across with WWE very well. But that's Triple H. And then, of course, the Plymouth Sun, the man of the hour, Tower Power, Dusty Rhodes. Oh, man. Yeah. That's the old World Championship belt. How about that? That's a damn good picture of Dusty Rhodes there. And if you like Hulkamania, you got to have Hulk Hogan. I don't have an NWO Hulk Hogan, but I do have him. Hulk Hogan. Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man Randy Savage. Ultimate Warrior. Anybody remember his name in the Blade Runners? You had Sting and him, but he did not call himself the Ultimate Warrior. Does anybody know what they called him? Just one word. Ultimate Warrior. Rock, yep. Rock and Sting. And that was before, it was before Dingo Warrior. Yeah, it was a Rock. It was Rock and Sting. And they called themselves, what do they call themselves? The, Sting and Rock. Somebody help me out. What do they call his tag team? Blade Runners. Yeah, the Blade Runners. John Cena. Or John Cena. Do 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 do. Mankind. Mankind was all right, but I always liked Cactus Jack the best. I always liked Cactus Jack. He was a nutbag, nutcase all the time. Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid. He wrestled in the AWA with Jannetty. I don't think they ever captured the AWA champion. Dude Love, you like Dude Love? There's no tag team. Rock and Roll Express, how about that? Ricky and Robert. Yeah, how about that? Robert Gibson. He actually, before he messed with Ricky Morton, he actually tag teamed with his brother Ricky Gibson in Tennessee and Mid South. Then they got together later. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was showing you stunning Steve Austin from WCW. Didn't look anything like this, and he definitely didn't have the attitude that he had here. Lou Thesz. No, I'm sorry. Buddy Rogers. Many-time World Heavyweight Championship champion. And Ric Flair. He got his gimmick from Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. How about that? He admitted that. Gorgeous George. Said he always tried to avoid winning titles because he liked to be going out for dinner by the time that the main event started. So he always liked to have dinner by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. He and his wife at the time, I think it was his wife that was his valet. And so he never wanted to be a champion. Ivan Koloff. This had to be somewhere along the WWF days because he never wore that like collar like that. He kept it chained, but the collar like that. That was early on. It almost looks like a vampire type situation. But Ivan Koloff. Hello, ladies. Val Venus. Oh man. Val Venus was nuts. Val Venus was fun to watch though. He was always a lot of fun to watch. And here's Nikita when he was growing hair back. He said that doesn't look like him. I'm sorry, it does not look like Nikita a lot. He needed to be bald. The muscles and all looks pretty good, but that doesn't look like Nikita a lot in the face. But that is Nikita Koloff. Terry Gordy of the Freebirds. He almost became world champion one time down in Texas when he took on Ric Flair. And he was a face. Flair wasn't. And I'm not sure they didn't give the belt to him for a day or two just to hold on to it, but they never made it official that he won. They were ready to attack Flair, though, down there. They never liked him down there. Leaping Lanny Poffo. That is Randy Savage's brother. Randy Poffo, but Randy Savage, when he went by, this is Lanny Poffo. This guy was always underrated. I think. Paul Orndorff. I don't think he ever got the recognition that he deserved. I liked him. He wasn't a great interview, but anytime he had a good manager, he was fun to watch. Anytime. This is great. My phone is about to die, and I gotta go put it in charge. Take care of Rob. I'll definitely watch it later. Okay, Thomas. Think you're getting to play the free demo as long as you don't roll a 00. I wouldn't get to play long then, would I? Masked Superstar. I always liked him. Masked Superstar. He was one of the wrestlers down in Superstation. He ought to have been in the Superstation set, but he's not. He should have been. Davey Boy Smith, British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith. Look here. I've got a third one of Ric Flair. How do you like this one? 4 Horsemen style. Ric Flair. The old title. 4 Horsemen background. How about that? So that's 3 cards I have of Ric Flair. All righty. Super Crazy. Super Crazy. He wrestled a lot of ECW, I think. He was wild, wide open, nuts. He was absolutely crazy. Veda Scott, she wrestled and she was also a manager. And mostly in Ohio Valley Wrestling, I think. She may have went to NXT. I don't think so, but I think she was down in Florida as well, Florida Developmental. And then she went to the Indies, Veda Scott. Too Cold Scorpio. Do, 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 do. Yeah, Too Cold Scorpio. Here's a mini. Oh, he was world champion for a long time. I don't know how many times he became world champion. Bruno Sammartino. How about that? Bruno Sammartino has his championship belt. Yeah. Tully Blanchard. Tully Blanchard. I've got a lot of wrestlers. There's no doubt about it. I've still got a pretty good stack right here. All right. Nikolai Volkov. Yeah, he's got the sickle and the hammer. The USSR, Nikolai Volkov. And if you got him, you got to have the Iron Sheik. He would sing his national anthems, or they would draw people absolutely batty and crazy. Made them so mad. Barry Windham. Barry Windham. He was He was always a lot of fun. I think his best days were in Florida before he came to the Superstation. And that's my personal belief. Demolition Axe. He was also the Masked Superstar. That's Bill Eadie right there. Bill Eadie. That's who that is. And this one right here is Demolition Smash. And this is a guy that was in WCW for a long time. Somebody help me out with his name. But he came out of Michigan with the Road Warriors and all those guys. Somebody help me with his name. Kane. There. Blackjack Mulligan. Yeah. Like I say, I saw him wrestle Andre the Giant. Obviously, you couldn't beat Andre the Giant. You couldn't do that if you were going to beat him. But a lot of fun to watch. Blackjack was every bit of 6'9", 6'10", maybe a bit taller than that. He was a big man, too. He was not a little guy at all. Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. That was probably his best times. WCW, he was okay. But in the NWO and all, he couldn't decide whether he wanted to be or not. So he kind of rode the line on that. Vince. Vince as a wrestler. How about that? Muscle bound Vince McMahon. Barry Darsow, yeah. Barry Darsow, you got it. You got it. Butch and Luke. The Sheep Herders. Those absolute nuts, too. I went to Richmond and seen those two guys wrestle the Fantastics, I think. And these two guys absolutely demolished the Fantastics. I mean, they beat them through. I think the Fantastics were into their contract, and these two guys just clowned them out. I mean, it was wild. Zack Sabre Jr., you may see him once in a while on AEW, but he's more into the European wrestling. He's a lot of fun to watch, Zack Sabre Jr. If you've never heard him, he is a lot of fun to watch. Rowdy Roddy Piper. How about that? His famous match against Greg Valentine, original Starrcade, probably one of the top 10 matches of all time. Dog collar match. I think it's probably a top 10 match. All right. Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji. Most of the time he was a manager, but he wrestled in the 60s and 70s. A little bit in the early 80s, but mostly 60s and 70s. And this guy was way back in the day. I want to say he wrestled in the 30s and 40s. William Muldoon. William Muldoon. Not Patty Muldoon, but William Muldoon. I don't know if that's a belt or not. I don't think so, but I don't know. William Muldoon. And the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase. Everyone has a price. All right. I done showed this team's manager already, so I may as well show you Midnight Express, Beautiful Bobby, Loverboy Dennis. Right there, Dennis Condrey, Bobby Eaton, they both have passed away. All right. Another tag team right here, Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers, the Fantastics. Tommy Rogers, he passed away. I think Bobby Fulton's still living. He was from Hawaii. Tommy Rogers was. Yeah. Fulton, I think Fulton may still be alive. Nora Greenwald. Nora Greenwald. Looks a little bit like Stephanie McMahon, but no, Nora Greenwald. I want to say she was in the ECW some. Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty. How about that? Yeah, Jannetty right there. This is like that. Yeah. And Jerry Lynn. Okay. All right. Stan Lane and Tom Pritchard. They wrestled in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Somebody help me out with these guys. Stan and Tom. That's their tag team name. But they were managed by Jim Cornette. Something dudes? Something dudes, was it? No, that don't sound right. Bobo Brazil. Bobo Brazil. He was back in the day, mostly the 70s, some of the 60s, but 70s. Bobo Brazil. And I'm not sure he didn't. I'm not sure if he did or didn't win a world title one time. I think maybe he did. Bobo Brazil. This is a Chikara wrestler, Jigsaw. I want to say maybe he's made an appearance once at ECW. ECW, I think he did. Jazz. I want to say that is Booker T's wife. I think she is. And I want to say she was a NWA Women's World Champion one time. Jazz. One of my top 10 wrestlers of all time. I've got to admit it. If you've ever watched my channel, he's one of my favorites. He is. I'm sorry. Kevin Sullivan. I love to watch Kevin Sullivan wrestle. Heavenly Bodies. You got it. Tom, Stan Lane, and then they got the guy out of Florida that took over for Stan Lane when he left. Yeah. But, yeah. Kevin Sullivan. Always fun to watch. Paul Ellering, he wrestled in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. He was a weightlifter, had problems with his leg and arm. So he became a manager for the Road Warriors, but he was still able to lift a lot, even back then. And the last one I have is Lou Thesz. Lou Thesz. That is it for my Legends of Wrestling. I got a pretty damn good stack right there, don't I? Yeah. That's a pretty good stack of wrestlers. Yeah. I'll put these away. And we'll look at Slam Wars. We'll look at Slam Wars Mid-Atlantic. You guys want to see that real quick? We'll look at that real quick. Especially if we keep getting people in here. I appreciate some folks just getting here, if they are. We're going to take a look at the Slam Wars game. Mid-Atlantic version. Okay? Here we go. All right. You don't have to see me now. All right. There we go. All righty. Slam Wars. The package. There's a championship card there for Slam Wars champion, the Mid-Atlantic champion. I got some wrestlers in here and some boosters as well. All right. First off, I'll show the boosters to you guys. Okay. Got a lot of tag team wrestlers there too. I'm not going to worry about showing you the grudge match stuff. They're all the same. All right. Impact moves. Masked Man. That's Charlie Brown. But you can't look at him and tell who he is. Charlie Brown. Bob Caudle. He was an announcer back in the late 70s, early 80s. He was I think he was a really good guy. And he was a weatherman down in North Carolina. Lord Alfred Hayes later became on WWF broadcasts some of the wrestling during the week. He helped host that. Gary Hart. So we got all those. Jim Crockett Sr. He's one and would always say, I've got big plans for you. Sonny Fargo. Sonny Fargo was a wrestler and then became a referee. J.C. Dykes, he was a manager back in the 60s, early 70s. I can't tell you much about him because I don't remember him too much. Two-Ton George Harris. Sit on people and make them give up. Two-Ton Harris. So, got those. Now, let's look at the tag teams first. All right. Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. They wrestled the Briscoe brothers in their first Starrcade, and they beat them in a cage. Bob Orton Jr. and Dick Slater. They ended up getting paid off for beating up Ric Flair. Was it Tully Blanchard that paid him off? I think it was Tully Blanchard that paid him off to beat Ric Flair and hurt Ric Flair. Sergeant Slaughter and Don Knodel, the Private. And do you remember who the other Private was? Privates Knodel and Private. I'll leave that out there for you. Slaughter and Knodel were World Tag Team Champions. They did the cannon, big clothesline off the top rope. And he actually Knodel wrestled with Ivan Koloff for a long time until they turned on him after Slaughter left to go to the WWF. I'll leave that out there so you guys can maybe remember who was the other private. Privates Knodel and Private something else. Here's the Imperial Russians. Chris Markoff and Nikolai Volkov. That's Volkov before he went to WWF. The Infernos, Inferno number 1 and Inferno number 2. I guess the way you decided it was they played rock, paper, scissors, and I am number 1 and you are number 2. I don't know. Rip Hawk, Swede Hansen. Swede Hansen was a huge guy, Not the greatest wrestler in the world. Rip Hawk was a tough, tough guy. Private Jim Nelson. You're right, Private Nelson. Yep, you got it. Um, he actually came to. They actually came by my dad's store back in the late '60s, early '70s when I was a little boy. I remember seeing Rip Hawk, Sweet Handsome, Dino Bravo, and Mr. Wrestling. Dino Bravo. He was huge in Mid Atlantic in the '70s. I think he won the Mid Atlantic title 2 or 3 times, and I want to say he may have won a Florida title or Georgia title a couple times too. But they were big. Dusty Rhodes, Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull. They wrestled a lot, especially early '80s. Early '80s, they got together before his heel turn on Jimmy Valiant for the money. Aldo Bognight and Bronco Lubitsch. Bronco Lubitsch was big in Texas. Bronco Lubitsch was a referee down there and a promoter in WCCW. But before that, he wrestled early '70s, late '60s. They wrestled in Mid-Atlantic area. Ric Flair, Greg Valentine. Ric Flair, Greg Valentine. Valentine helped Flair get his career started. Greg is still living. So is Rick. Both of these two guys are still living. And they were very, very tough wrestlers. Ric Flair, many-time world champion. Greg Valentine never won a world title, but he was probably one of the best wrestlers ever not to win a world title. Wahoo McDaniel and Mark Youngblood. Once Jay Youngblood passed away, these two guys got together sometime. I want to say they wrestled in Starrcade '84, the second one. And they may have gotten beat. I never forgot, but I think they wrestled there, and they may have lost. I don't forget who they wrestled, but they were a secondary tag team. They weren't one of the best tag teams anyway. The Mongols, Depot and Gito. Depot and Gito, the Mongols. They mostly wrestled in the '60s, early '70s, but they wrestled in the Mid-Atlantic region, and I don't remember seeing them at all. I must have been a little boy, a little bit too little to watch those guys at the time. Johnny Weaver and George Becker. Johnny Weaver, the Weaver Lock. It was a sleeper. I saw Johnny Weaver wrestle in the '70s. I saw him wrestle in the '80s. I saw him wrestle in the '90s. And I actually saw him in a North Carolina indie event where they had called it the Weaver Cup. So I enjoyed seeing Johnny. He was a nice guy. The Flying Scots, Sandy and George Scott. George Scott, he became a promoter. Sandy Scott was huge in in NWA in the '80s, hiring Dusty Rhodes. He helped Jim Crockett Jr. With some promotions and stuff. And I want to say I even have a couple of promoter sheets that I saved that had different matches and stuff from the late '80s that I actually got from Sandy Scott. He actually mailed it to me. Kentuckians, Grizzly Smith and Luke Brown. Grizzly Smith, very interesting character. He got in a lot of trouble for messing around with kids, which is not a good thing, obviously. He's father of Rockin' Robin, who I was able to meet. father of Jakey Snake Roberts, who I've met, and the father of Jake. I mean, of uh, what's the other guy's name? I'll tell you in a minute. Sam Houston. Sam Houston's dad. That was Grizzly Smith. Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Ole and Arn. I mean, Ole and Gene. Gene and Ole. Gene used to shake his head a whole lot. Gene Anderson. Later on became a sheriff in North Carolina. Deputy sheriff. How about that? All right. Let's go to the gold wrestlers we have. Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter, great he was used mostly as a tag team wrestler, and that's when tag team wrestling was huge in the Mid Atlantic when he was there. Very cool. Dino Bravo, mostly a singles wrestler. And most of the time he was clean, but he went through a lot. And then I think it was a murder trial. And I think, in fact, that maybe he got murdered. Dino Bravo. Blackjack Mulligan in the Florida set. I bet he had to be huge, too. Blackjack was big in Mid-Atlantic, then went down to Florida in the early 80s with his sons. They were huge draws. All right, let's see. They're the three gold wrestlers. Number one, Paul Jones, the Indian Deathlock, kind of like a figure four, but it was different. You only had to use one leg to really mess somebody's leg up right there. He was pretty vicious, a little small guy, and he lived in North and South Carolina, mostly North Carolina. And George Becker, yeah. Let me know that you guys are still watching this. Oh, I just want to know that I'm not boring everybody to death out here. Tell me that you're awake. Les Thatcher. Um, he was from Maryland, I think, and he actually brought a lot of wrestling up over to the D.C. area and Baltimore area. Les Thatcher, and he may have been the Olympic guy you guys was talking about, Les Thatcher, but he brought a lot of wrestling up there to the northern part of Mid Atlantic. All right, Keith's still here. We'll see if anybody else is still here. Roger's still here. Who all else is still with me? Yeah, I appreciate it too. We'll keep showing it. The Great Kabuki. Gary Hart, my Great Kabuki. He was always pretty cool. Great Kabuki. Blow the mist. He'd mess up Jimmy Valiant. He was better than Muda. Great Kabuki was awesome. He was awesome to watch. The Magic Dragon. Magic Dragon, I want to say, was out of China. I don't think he was Japanese, but they didn't want to show his face. And I'm not exactly sure who the Magic Dragon was. Maybe somebody can help me on that. The Hammer, Greg Valentine. Yeah. Very seldom do you see him smiling. Great Kabuki was very cool. Yeah, I liked him too. I liked him a lot. He very seldom smiled like that. He stayed pissed off all the time, but Valentine was a lot of fun. Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. He always had a lot of fun. He was a lot like Jimmy Valiant. His matches generally lasted, 3 to 7 minutes at the most. And he was one that would crank a crowd up before they had main event guys. But he was vital to the Mid-Atlantic region. They needed him to draw. He was a good draw. Harley Race, one of the toughest wrestlers maybe ever. Kansas City. That's where he was from. A lot of fun to watch Harley race. Abe Jacobs, the Kiwi Roll. Now, 5 watchers. Yes, I do. I do. Um, Abe Jacobs, the Kiwi Roll. He was from New Zealand. And I got 7 watchers now. He was from New Zealand, and he did the Kiwi Roll. If you ever get a chance to watch him on YouTube, check Abe Jacobs out. He would spin a guy around. And he would go all the way around the ring with him with a Kiwi Roll. He would Bad Leroy Brown. Look at that. He always looked like it. He looked mad, wild, crazy. And those eyes, look at that. He always looked that way. Yeah. He looked like he could eat cereal. He looked like he'd bite your face off. That was Bad Leroy Brown. Yeah. Yeah, he looked like if you had cereal in front of you, he'd steal it. Otherwise, he'd just bite your face. He didn't care. Rocky Johnson, that's a Rock's dad. Rocky Johnson, Soul Man. He wrestled here before he went to yeah, yeah, that's Rocky Maivia or The Rock's dad. That's who that was. Bob Orton Jr., that is Randy Orton's dad. Don't sing that song. What song was I singing? Tiger Conway Jr. Tiger Conway Jr. He would wrestle with Rocky Johnson. They were a tag team for a long time. Angelo Mosca. I always thought he was overrated. Oh, don't sing Bad Leroy Brown. Now, he probably had a different song going to the ring. It wasn't Bad Leroy Brown. But Angelo Mosca, look how mean he looks. He never thrilled me. I think he was maybe from Canada. Yeah, he didn't thrill me a lot. There's another Canadian that didn't thrill me a lot. Kelly Kiniski. He went to the AWA after this, and really he just kind of washed off the face of the earth as far as wrestling. Wasn't the greatest wrestler in the world. Terrible on his mic though. That's what hurt him. He could have been a better wrestler had he got some mic skills. Klondike Bill. Can't tell you a whole lot about Klondike Bill. Buzz Avalanche Buzz Tyler. They had him 84, 85, 86 for short periods of time when they really, really needed a face. A lot of them went to WWE at the time. He was brought in. He was okay, anything to write home about. Angelo Mosca Jr. He looks like a Hulk, but he couldn't wrestle a lick. I mean, this guy was awful. Terrible wrestler. Terrible wrestler. But that one was his dad. Dewey Robertson. Dewey Robertson. Do we remember who Dewey Robertson was later in his career? Dewey Robertson. He changed his look a lot. I'll leave that card out right there. Somebody can tell me who Dewey Robertson was. Dick Slater, Dirty Dick Slater. He was always a lot of fun to watch. He was down in Mid-South. He was in Oregon. He was in Florida. He was in Texas. He went anywhere and everywhere. He was a lot of fun to watch, and he was just a lot of fun to watch because you knew he would bring chairs, tables, did not matter. He would fight with them back in the day. Jay Youngblood, His life was shortened, I think, due to they said a heart attack, aneurysm, but I think drugs had a little bit to do with that as well. Jay Young Flood, a fun kid to watch wrestle back in the day. Rip Hawk, we were talking about him earlier. He was older, and yep, the missing link. You got it. The missing link was Dewey Robertson. Got it. Rip Hawk. Um, by the time the '70s and '80s came around, he was the older guy. He was always tough. And there's Sweet Hansen, Hawk, Sweet Hansen, and Rip Hawk tag team. Super Destroyer. Yeah, he wrestled there. I think the Mass Superstar did too. Um, Johnny Valentine, that's Greg Dad. Ultra tough. He was in the airplane crash with Ric Flair, David Crockett, Matt, Wrestling, Mr. Wrestling #2, a couple other people in the airplane crash, 74, 75. He was in it. He was never the same after that. Wahoo McDaniel, I want to say he played with the Miami Dolphins for a short time, then became a wrestler after that. Never was a world champion. He's another guy kind of underrated. Nature Boy Ric Flair. If you saw him wrestle, you saw one of the best ever. Great on a mic. He was just awesome to watch anytime. He was a showman. Johnny Weaver, we talked about him earlier. Weaver Lock, the sleeper. Yep. Ricky Steamboat. Never became a heel. Never became a heel in his whole career. Was a face for 30 plus years. Pretty fun to watch it. The Missouri Mauler. This guy actually did come from a Mid-South area and came to Mid-Atlantic. It would stay little short stints. When Blackjack Mulligan and some of the others would leave, he would come in, step in. He wasn't near the wrestler Mulligan was, but a lot of people like to watch him. Missouri Mauler. Art Nelson. Art Nelson. And he did the full Nelson. That's what he did. Yeah. Bruce Swayze. Beautiful Bruce Swayze. I think he was a jobber most of the time of his career. Bruce Swayze. Ron Ritchie. He was a jobber for sure. Early 80s. He would win a lot of matches if you went to the matches to watch him, because he'd take on Jeff Sword or Charlie Fulton, some of those guys, or Johnny Powers. Johnny Powers wasn't very good either. He was okay, but nothing to write home about. Don Kernodle, Mr. USA, the pride of the Carolinas. He got beaten like hell by the Russians when they turned on him. Tim Woods, Mr. Wrestling #2. Tim Woods. He was not Mr. Wrestling that was with Magnum TA in the Mid-South area in Georgia. This guy was done by then. Yeah. Pork Chop Cash. He wrestled a little bit in Florida, a little bit in Georgia, but mostly he wrestled out of Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, and you didn't really see him in North Carolina very much, like in Greensboro or Raleigh, Durham, or Charlotte. He wrestled more in the northern Mid-Atlantic and worked his way up to WWE. I think he stayed there a year or two, and that was it. Private Jim Nelson. Private Jim. He's from here in Virginia. A lot of fun to watch. Boris Yurkov. Boris Yurkov. He was, he played a German there for a long time. Oh, Zurkov. Maybe it's Zurkov. Maybe it was Boris Zukov. Boris Zukov. Maybe that was his name. But he played a Russian for a long time and did depart well. Jim Nelson. Finally, Nelson Royal. Nelson Royal. Uh, Tim Woods was Mr. Wrestling number one. Oh, Johnny Walker was Mr. Wrestling number two. Okay. I was thinking Tim Woods was wrestling number, but I'm pretty sure Tim Woods was in the airplane crash with Ric Flair. Nelson Royal was world junior heavyweight champion a couple of times. Would wrestle in Baltimore a lot, wrestle in St. Louis, wrestle in Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania a little bit, Virginia some. But Nelson Royal once in a while would wrestle on the stages here in the Mid-Atlantic. So that's Slam Wars Mid-Atlantic set, guys. Almost kept you here 2 hours. Pretty good set. Yes, he was in a plane crash. Yes. I could play a set with this set as well. Do you have both of these sets, Roger? Superstation and Mid Atlantic. They've got about 12 sets out. You can still acquire them. I see them once in a while on eBay. These sell on eBay though. Pretty cool. I don't know if Roger has both sets or not. But the Phil Singer games I had, there's wrestlers. I had some others right here. Yeah, you got both of them. Tricks. Tricks. Lord Nexus. And Scorn. Yeah. And I've got all of these books here that goes with it. So I've got to put all this back in there. But all these books are pretty cool. They really are. Uh-huh. You have all the cards I have as far as Phil Singer goes. Yeah. That's my Phil Singer set. It's a whole lot of cards there. Yeah. I just use a gallon thing here. Yeah. Gallon sized bag here. And I'll put these in there. Phil Singer, I think you can still order Phil Singer cards. I'm not sure. But to find those Slam War sets, I think you have to go to eBay to get them because they no longer make them. And then the Phil Singer cards. They are not cheap. The Phil Singer sets are not cheap because each little set of 8, 6, 12, whatever, $10, $15, $20. They're not real cheap. But if you like to watch wrestling, like to play the wrestling games, that's pretty easy wrestling game to play. Let's do this now. Yes, Phil Singer games is thriving. eBay and rarely for Slam Wars. Yeah, I've seen them on there once in a while. Yeah. Somebody should put, let's see, Phil Singer games. Let's show put it up there how they can get them if they want to. Because I want to show everybody Phil Singer's games here, sets. Legends of Wrestling card and dice game starter set, $25. Yeah, see, I don't know if that's still the same price. I'm not sure. And it says wrestling's greatest card game since 1986. So he said he'd been around 40 years. I don't know that. I cannot claim that one for anybody. But they got the champions of the galaxy too. That's not actually wrestlers. But look at all these. Look at all these wrestling organizations. Ring of Honor, uh, Evolve, Chikara, Shimmer, PWI, CZW. CZW is still in effect. Absolute Intense Wrestling, AIW, I think is what that is. Freelance Wrestling, right there. And Beyond Wrestling. Yeah. And now I'm sure AEW, All Elite Wrestling, WWE, you got all those. Yeah. Very cool. That's what we hooked up right there. Phil Singer Games. I have more champions in a Galaxy set. Oh, okay. It is philsingergames.com/get started. There we go. Best of the Indies, only $15 back then. I'm not sure it's still the same price. I can't tell you that. But I would like to get Phil Singer on here sometime. What if I could get somebody from Phil Singer Games on my channel? Would you guys be interested in watching this? If I could do that, suppose I could pull up something out of the hat. Perhaps I can. I don't know. Perhaps I can do it. Woo. But excuse me, yes. Twitter, Phil Singer Games. Facebook at Phil Singer Games. Phil Singer Games has a post office box too. Let me put that out there for you guys. Let's see if I can find it here. Whoops, that ain't what I wanted. Do this. All right. I don't know how I did that. How the hell I pulled that one off? Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Let's do this now. All right, Roger. Have a good one, bud. Let me put Phil Singer Games in here. FILSINGER Games. It's PO Box 201 452. P.O. Box 320452, Fairfield, Connecticut. Fairfield, Connecticut. Oh 6825. 06825. About that. Yeah, I can actually show it to you up close. There you go. Phil Singer Games. Contact them. Contact them that way if you have to. I'm going to actually try to contact them, possibly by phone, and see if they would like to talk to people about the sets that they've got going on. I know they had at one time like 20 different sets, 12, 15, 20 different sets of cards. Now, some of them you end up getting again and all that type of stuff. That's when you want to, trade with people and stuff like that. And that's what I've done over the past bunch of years. That's how I done what I got. Phil Singer Games, P.O. Box 320452, Fairfield, Connecticut 06825. We can find out more about them, about what they got going on. And if you're interested in me trying to get somebody from Phil Singer on here live, I can only make an attempt. I can only say, hey, would you like to come on and talk to me? And it may even be a phone number on here. Copyright 2010 for some of these. Yeah. So I've had these for a while. But I thought maybe creator and executive editor Tom Filsinger, editor Todd Jorkel, the art Werner Muke, playing cards writers Tim Dalton, Chad Olson, Corey Olson, handbook writer Stu Lowry, layout and production Mike Molesky, Legends of Wrestling logo design of Justin Notke. And most of these was 2016 right there on that book. So I think they got Tom Filsinger is still his company, I guess. So maybe I can try to get him or somebody within the company on here. Maybe we can talk to him and say, hey, let's sell some stuff while we're here. Let me know if you're interested in watching. If you are, I'll give you guys a couple days prep, and then maybe I can try to get somebody on here to talk to us about Phil Singer Games, Legends of Wrestling. I've held you here for 2 hours. I'm not going to hold you any longer. You all have a blessed evening. Thanks so much for watching the channel. Subscribe, like the video, and it helps promote wrestling. It helps promote the channel a whole lot. Captain Carl, how you doing, Captain Carl? Haven't heard from him in a few years. How you doing, my friend? Captain Carl has helped promote the channel so much over the years as well. I'm working part-time, so I can't, and then my wife's working, so certain times of the day doesn't work out for me as well. A Monday night or Tuesday night always can probably work out for me. Coming on here to wrestle, do some wrestling or do something else, pay off pitch. Some sort of basketball is a little too wonderful. Have a blessed evening. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. Hadn't had a lot of videos lately, but we can start picking back up maybe. Okay. I'm going to Dave Gardner's D2 Decon, which is in Connecticut, the end of this week. Dave Little will be there as well. Okay, say hi. Dave Little is big on the Legends of Wrestling. I did a Legends of Wrestling game. I showed my cards from Legends of Wrestling, and then I also showed Slam Wars. But they no longer sell those. These are no longer in print. They are no longer in print, so they're rare now, I think. So, Captain Carl, come back and give us an update on how well it does. Okay? I'd appreciate it. Have a great evening. God bless. And I will be back with you very, very soon. Like and subscribe. And I do thank you. Have a wonderful evening and goodbye. Bye-bye.